Hello everyone. Here to do my discussion board 3 video assignment. Um, Part A, question number 1 asks us to name and briefly describe 2 counseling approaches that are based on a wellness model. In our text, they talk about the wellness model, and it involves all aspects of life, which includes the physical, intellectual, social, psychological, emotional, spiritual, and environmental. One of the counseling approaches that relates to the wellness models is the Adlerian theory, in which individuals are understood from a holistic point of view. This approach illustrates characteristics of healthy people. Another approach is, of course, the holistic approach, which addresses the biological, psychological, social, and the spiritual as well. And this involves assessing all dimensions that affect health and well-being, and also recognizes the balance of those dimensions. Question number 2 asks to explain what the biopsychosocial model proposes and how such a model positively impact the delivery of clinical mental health services. According to Gladding and Newsom in our text, the biopsychosocial model is an approach to medicine and mental health that focuses on the multiple interrelated ways biology, psychology, and social cultural factors are conducive or detrimental to health and well-being. So, kind of in other words, it simply entails what the name suggests: biopsychosocial aspects of things going on. The biopsychosocial model is a holistic approach, as stated earlier. It kind of gives counselors a sense of learning about the whole person. I think that by looking at the whole person and researching their background, their culture, and social issues, you're able to understand a client's perspective and offer the best support that will fit their needs or provide them with resources if need be. Mental health counselors, as we learn through texts and other reading and articles, they have to have a fundamental knowledge of the neurological and physiological factors that affect the human behavior. And being able to use the biopsychosocial model allows clinicians in the mental health field to be well versed in that. Part B, we had to listen to the podcast in which they spoke about spirituality and religion. And question 1 asks us, how does the speaker define spirituality and religion? When listening to it, I took that spirituality is defined as a more intimate experience that one has with their belief system, and it's not particularly identified with a specific religion. And religion, on the other hand, is kind of defined as a more broader belief system that mostly all of the religions are going to fall into. It is a more shared entity in which other individuals can relate to. Question 2 asks, what issues related to rural areas were discussed in relation to our counseling counseling persons with religion or spirituality issues? The issue that was discussed during the podcast in relation to rural areas was, in fact, that in some rural areas, there may not be a support system for persons with a particular belief system. And in that event, counselors should be able to find resources to help that particular individual by seeking supervision and researching or doing a referral if that is indeed feasible. Sometimes referrals aren't able to happen, so the counselor should try to do everything that they can to provide some type of support for their particular client. And the last question says, how important do you believe it is for counselors to be able to discuss religion and spiritual issues with clients? What is important, or why is it not important? I think that it is very important for counselors to be able to discuss religion and spiritual issues if it is brought in by the client. Being a multicultural counselor not only entails knowing about different cultures, but also the different religions or spiritual aspects of that culture as well. As a counselor, we're also able to be aware of our own personal biases and also know our limitations. As mentioned by the video, I think that being exposed to different belief systems allows counselors to embrace their similarities and differences of spirituality and religion, and also, again, to embrace any or accept any of the differences. Um, that is my response for our discussion board 3 assignment.